Okay, in this video we're just going to remind ourselves of some general properties of metals and non-metals. It's worth remembering that the left hand side of the periodic table, this is where the metals can be found, and the right hand side of the periodic table is where the non-metals are found. So you've got these steps in there that divide them. In terms of metals then, what do we know? We know that metals are shiny, and these are all general properties, okay? So in general, metals are shiny. They have a high melting point. You should know why. I'm going to put the asterisk there. You should be able to explain why they have a high melting point, because the bonding in the metal is strong and therefore requires a lot of energy to break. It's got a high melting point. They have a high density and they are good conductors of electricity. Again, you should be able to explain why they're good conductors of electricity, because the structure is metal ions surrounded by a sea of delocalized electrons. The electrons can move, therefore it will conduct electricity. Okay. Non-metals, on the other hand, they have low melting and boiling points. We know that because most of these non-metals are gases, and therefore you've got low melting and boiling points. And we know why. I'm going to put that across here. We should be able to explain why, because we know that covalent molecules contain weak force of attraction between the molecules, which doesn't require a lot of energy to break. They're also poor conductors of electricity. Again, you should know why, because the electrons are not free to move. Those electrons are used in bonding. One exception is carbon, and you should know that carbon in the form of graphite will conduct electricity because it contains 3 bonds per atom, which means it has a delocalized electron which can move.